12.
Yes.
So I think there are a lot of reasons, but I talked all about the diversity stuff. One of the most important things is that I'm the most qualified of the candidates who are running. I was found highly qualified by the Chicago Bar Association, and that organization, as you know, is the gold standard for evaluating judicial candidates. And I have been reviewed by every single bar association, and they have all found me qualified, highly qualified, recommended, well qualified. Every single bar association recognized that I am more than able to do this job. And I bring a breadth of experience that none of the other candidates have. The anointed candidate, who is a very fine person, but her background is very different from mine. She was in the public defender's office for about 8 years, and those of you who know, if you come from a political family, you don't just apply for a job in the public defender's office or the state's attorney's office. Somebody gets you the job. So she was there for 8 years. Then she was appointed to the circuit court, then ran for that and won, then appointed to the appellate court, ran for that seat and won, and then appointed to the Supreme Court. So there's a pattern there. I do not come from that background. I've had
Could I just ask you, appointed means you got that and then you're getting it ratified by running?
Exactly, that's how it goes.
I
You
just
first you're
wanted-
appointed, and then the Democratic Party slates you, and then you run for the seat because you have the backing of the party behind you. So you win, and then the next level is the same thing that happens. So that's a very different pathway than how I got here. I got here on my own steam. And my father, I'm very proud of my father, but he was not a Democratic Party insider, so he wasn't able to get me anything. He told me to get a good education, which I did, and then I got the rest of the stuff myself. And it's a very different pathway, but I think it's very important because that's how most people get what they have. Most of us don't get where we are because we come from dynastic families that are able to hand us things. So I think I look at the world through a different set of eyes. I have empathy for people who come before the court. I think that's important, and most of you know, my undergraduate degree, I started out in a different career. This is a second career for me. I am a registered nurse by training and education. I was a critical care nurse for many years and worked my way through law school as a critical care nurse, working nights and going to law school during the day. So I come to the table with a different set of experiences and a different outlook on the human condition. And I think that the Supreme Court needs to have a person who comes from the people. And I bring a great deal of experience. I've been licensed as a lawyer for 30 years. So this is not, this is not something, this is not career advancement for me. It's something that I'm doing because I really think it's important and I want to give back. And if you know the kinds of decisions that a Supreme Court makes, you would understand that it is extremely important to elect me to the Supreme Court because the Supreme Court is making decisions that affect your lives every day, whether you know it or not. So March 20th is the primary. It's a Democratic primary, but in Cook County, the primary is the election. Okay, the primary is the election. A Democrat is whichever Democrat wins the Democratic primary, that person will be the next Supreme Court justice. There's a general election in November where you will face a Republican. But the truth is, the data shows a Republican has not been elected to the Supreme Court from Cook County in over 100 years.
Wow.
So it's not going to happen this year either because the president is running. So in November, Democrats will be coming out in force. So it's now or never. Tomorrow, early voting starts, so you can actually vote starting tomorrow. But the main primary election day is March 20th. Very, very important. So I ask you to support me. Tell your friends, tell your family members, even your enemies. Maybe they won't be your enemies after you tell them. This is an opportunity to help make history. This is a historic opportunity for our community, and I really, really ask for your support. My punch number is 103. We have a website. We have materials here, which Teresa will make sure that each person has
I'll make sure they have.
Yes, everybody here, so even the band members, because they are all, are you a registered voter, young man?
Yes.
You are? I thought you was 18.
Well, he is 18. Make sure that all the band members This young man needs one. He looks like a registered voter.
I think he's 16.
So I'm your candidate. You thought you were just coming here to play music, didn't you?
No, I was expecting to hear
There
this.
you go. Anyway, so I'd love to answer any questions. Give that young lady one of my
Oh,
bookmarks.
she's gonna have everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd love to answer any questions that you have, because people usually have questions for me. You know, how did you know you want to do this? What does this is? Let me tell you, this is a process that's not for the faint of heart. It is a very, very daunting process, replete with all kinds of dirty tricks and everything else that you can imagine. But I'm absolutely up to the task. Any questions I can answer for you?
Patrick?
Yes, ma'am.
What's the process going from the state Supreme Court to the U.S. Supreme Court?
What is the possibility?
The process.
The process. Well, to go to the United States Supreme Court, you have to be nominated by the president, and usually the president of the United States. Usually the Senate or a senator from your home state will bring your name forward to the president, and there's a vetting process, and the president has a committee. Valerie Jarrett and a couple of others are part of that committee. And then they do the vetting, and they bring forward 3 or 4 names, and the president personally then interviews the 3 or 4 finalists and makes a choice.
Another
Yes.
question. Yes. Gloria.
After tonight, what can we do to further your win in this election? What can we do?
Many things. Al, look alive there, Al. We have a good question. This is Al Kendall, who's my political director.
Known as Big Al.
Big Al.
Big Al.
We have asked people to send out emails, go to our Facebook page and like us on Facebook, and then ask your friends to like us on Facebook. We've got up to, Teresa, how many Facebook friends do we have now? About 11-something, 1,150. Close to 1,500 Facebook friends. So it's growing. That's more than any other political candidate right now. We've got a lot. So ask your friends to like us. We ask that you send out, if you give your email address to us, we will send you an email that you can send out to your email list, so that you can ask those people on your list to vote for me. And anyone who lives in Cook County can vote for me. The Supreme Court has 7 justices, but the state is divided into 5 judicial districts. Cook County is District 1, which is the first district. It has 3 of the 7 justices are allotted from Cook County, and that's because we have the greatest population. And the other 4 districts get to elect 1 each of the 7 justices. So if you live anywhere in Cook County, you can vote for me. But once I'm on the court, statewide jurisdiction for all the judges who are on that court. So even if your friends want to contribute money and they live in, say, DuPage County, say, look, once she gets on the court, she'll be making decisions that affect you too, so you can send the money.
Good.
One of the things that I should tell you, a campaign is very expensive, and judicial candidates are not permitted by law to ask for money themselves. So we have to impanel a finance committee to do it for us. That's enter Amina and Julian and other people who are my campaign finance committee. They help me raise money. And we have to pay for the things that, staff and polls and all of that. So it's expensive, but we do what we can, even in face of lots of obstacles. So any other questions for me?
Do you have a headquarters or office?
Yes, we are at 2 North LaSalle, and Teresa will give you our information. We're at 2 North LaSalle.
So here's what I would like, and Julian would like you all to commit to tonight. We had, of course, anticipated many more people, but we had not checked the date against the calendar of the All-Star Game and the Oscars and everything else. So we're grateful that you've come out. But we'd ask you to take the pluggers with you. And I have found, and I'm not somebody that usually does a lot of political campaigning at all.
She doesn't. That's why I feel so honored and blessed that she's doing this for me.
But it's because Joy is the best candidate. And if you just talk to her a minute, you know it. And if people just knew her name. So I'm wearing Joy for Justice. All you have to do is remember Joy for Justice. And I give them that, and they look at it, and they read it, and say, oh my God, she's the one that we should be voting for. So I ask you to carry these with you and be bold about handing these to people and asking them to give Joy their vote, because Joy is the person that will bring us justice. And this is our time. It is her time, but more important than Joy, it's our time, and it's our responsibility. So please, there should be none of this stuff left on the table, quite honestly, tonight. Take it with you. I have found it's really very easy to start a conversation, and you just put her beautiful face out there to people, and they want to know more. So please, let us make sure that we get this out. There are only a few days left. It's punch 103.
103.
103.
Vote for me.
Okay, vote for me. Oh, very good, very good.
Amina, are there any other events that are upcoming?
Are there other
that we
events?
can
If you go
people
to our
out
website, you will see we have all of our events listed on our website.
She's done 5 today, so for her to still be with us today, yeah, at this
5 to
hour,
5.
yeah, right, yeah. It's really quite something.
Power to the people.
But yes, I get an email a day of someplace that they
No,
are
I'm
raising
enjoying
money
this. I
and
got
raising
mine.
consciousness
I got
about
mine.
Joy
Right.
Cunningham running for state Supreme Court.
Now,
Yes,
there is
Al?
something that we would like for you to do in addition to. We're asking people to participate with us in the campaign like freedom riders. So every morning when you go to work, we want you to take one of these, take a set of these, and pass them to individuals as you're going to work, particularly if you're on the bus or the train.
That's right.
And so we're gonna be getting more literature to the middle of at the end of the week. So we'd like to call you and put you on our Freedom Rider list so that your pledge is at least a day to try and pass 100 to people, palm cards in particular, to individuals as you're riding on public transportation, as you're standing around, because that's one way of getting the word out when you're in the grocery store. So if we got 100 people passing these out, 1,000 a day, we're really starting to hit a lot of people.
And I think when you bring the message of how critical this election is, that this is your opportunity, and if you lose this one, baby, it's not coming around anytime soon. When you say that to people, they really get it. And when you say Joy for Justice, it sticks. And when you show them her face and you talk about her experience and you just give them that card, they're really grateful to have that information. That's what I have found. And like I said, I don't usually do this, but I've been doing it in beauty salons and in the nail shops and in the grocery line, just as Al has said. It's really easy to talk about somebody who is so well qualified for the role.